Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions regarding this watch. Today, we're discussing one of the earliest iterations of the Patek Philippe Aquanaut collection. This is the 5065A in stainless steel. This was also one of the original automatic Aquanaut models, having been launched with caliber 315 SC back in 1998, just 1 year after the original Aquanaut 5060. It is also larger than the original at 38.8 millimeters in diameter in steel, though still slim at only 8.3 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 45 millimeters with a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. When I throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, it is smaller than a 5167 to be sure, though it's not quite as small as the original Aquanaut. This is just a little bit larger, but not so large that I couldn't recommend it for a wrist as small as 13 centimeters circumference. So this really is a unisex option and flat enough to fit underneath the cuff. There is no complication in that regard. This is a very low profile and elegant watch. The idea behind the Aquanaut in 1997 was to succeed where the Neptune really didn't, creating a new steel sports watch line to run alongside the flagship Nautilus, which as a collection was far smaller in its range and lower in its production back in 1997. So something that could be built in larger volume for less money, while still every inch of Patek Philippe, would have been a welcome and logical addition to the catalog back then. As a result, it was designed from the outset to use a rubber strap, something that was quite subversive and innovative by Patek Philippe standards. Now you can see that the geosphere cut of the dial is echoed in the strap. Patek calls it composite, and I suppose every kind of rubber is a composite of different types of chemicals, but it is, for practical purposes, rubber. Now, taking a look at the rubber, you can see there are many pre-scored marks. As this is a brand new Patek Philippe strap, uncut, we will cut it to the size of your wrist. We have a stainless steel friction fit double deployant clasp, which when closed features the Calatrava cross, the symbol of the brand. The watch features a crown, which you will note has a domed profile and only the slightest image of the Calatrava cross. The case, now a well-established piece of the vernacular of Patek design language, satin in profile. We have polished lug ends, lug hoods, and a very soft bevel along the shoulders of the lugs. We have a crown guard profile. We have a bezel that is a rounded polygon in homage to the elder Nautilus, but a different shape. Polished on its side, you can see there are two facets outboard and then vertical satination up top. We have that geosphere cut on the dial with applied and satin finished metal hour numerals. And then the indices outboard of the numerals are luminescent, whereas on a lot of modern Aquanaut models, you will get luminescent numerals and indices. Here, it's a more, shall we say, incipient version of the Aquanaut. So this is loomed very different from later examples. The watch I'm holding here specifically was sold in 2004, according to Patek records. Now we have polished hands. We have a white varnished Lancet style seconds hand. We have 120 meter water resistance. We do have a screw down crown. This is caliber 315. The primary difference between 315 and the later 324 is the beat rate. 315 is 3 hertz, 324 is a 4 hertz movement, but they work substantially the same way. They look almost the same, and neither one of them actually has a hacking seconds function, but both of them can sometimes be stalled out a little if you wish to impede the seconds hand and set the watch against a reference time. Of course, the watch gives you the ability to quick set the date if you wish to adjust the date. Around back, you can see caliber 315. So automatic winding, 45-hour power reserve, 30 joules, free sprung, gyromax style balance, quick set but not hacking, 5-position chronometer style adjustment, Geneva hallmark, because this is long before the 2009 Patek Philippe seal, gyromax, a long-running Patek Philippe mechanical engineering tradition, conceived in the 40s, implemented in the 50s. It allows for very precise adjustment by the masses on the balance rim. So not only can the watch be precisely adjusted in those top shelf 5 positions, but also it's more shock resistant as the timing won't be changed if the watch is rocked, shocked, or concussed. We have stripes across the bridges, linear, circular on the rotor, engine turning on the center of the rotor, the click wheel of the reduction system, and then engine turning on the base plate in a larger perlage with a snailing on the edge of the rotor, and then we have anglage on the edge of the bridges, though back then, before the modern era of Patek finishing, you could see a little bit of the milling marks of the wheel that initially cut those bevels. All screw heads are black polished and wheels are satinated. It's a good-looking watch, and it was a real trailblazer. A Patek Philippe that was able to let down its hair, and a watch that finally combined horlogerie with full rubber straps. Granted, AP got there a little bit earlier, but Patek Philippe, as the more conservative company, probably raised more eyebrows by moving in this direction. And the Aquanaut is still with us today. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.